Comedy is about this communion of not just different characters on stage, but different kinds of audience who are looking at the stage. Hello and welcome back to NibblePop. We are doing a thorough textual reading and analysis of William Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. We have already completed the first two scenes of the first act, and in this video we are going to look at the third scene of the first act. As this is still part of exposition, we are going to meet some of the characters for the first time in a very different setting. Earlier we have seen Orsino, Viola, and now in this scene we are going to meet some more people. Don't skip anything in this video because we are going to take up each and every line of this text and analyze most important things that you must know about this scene. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, do so right now so that you get notified every time a new video comes up. This is Monami Mukherjee. Welcome once again. Since the whole play Twelfth Night is set in Illyria, so we are not going to mention that every time. We are talking about setting. More specifically, this scene is set in Olivia's house. As the play opens, we find Sir Toby speaking to Maria. Now, who are these people? Sir Toby happens to be the cousin of Olivia, but in many places he is referring to Olivia as his niece. So maybe the word cousin is to be taken as an extended word which means uncle also. So Toby is more or less an aged person, not of Olivia's age group of course, and so probably he is really her uncle. Now what is he doing there in her house? Remember, Olivia's father had died and so has her brother. Now, under these circumstances, she is living all by herself and society doesn't accept women living all by themselves. So, they need a guardian figure. And ironically, Sir Toby is like a guardian figure because he is the uncle, is supposed to safeguard her interests, look after her well-being. But we see that through this scene itself that he is basically a drunkard and not to be trusted as a guardian at all. So this is kind of a role reversal here. While Toby is supposed to look after Olivia, it is Olivia who looks after Toby and also makes sure that he tries to follow some discipline in life, which he doesn't, absolutely not. He enters with Maria. Maria is Olivia's handmaid. As the play progresses, we'll see that there's a kind of a love interest between Sir Toby and Maria, which we will discuss later. Here, Toby and Maria, they are speaking about Olivia. Toby, being a fun-loving person, party-loving person, he doesn't like Olivia's present mood, which is a very sorrowful, melancholic, because she is sad that her brother has died and she is denying any kind of relationship offers that she is getting. So Toby feels that Olivia is not doing what she should do when she is this young and beautiful. What a plague means my niece to take the death of her brother thus? Okay, people's brothers die. Why is she taking this in this way? With so much seriousness. So Toby can't understand why Olivia is behaving like a nun because her brother has died. I'm sure care is an enemy to life. Care means when you love somebody, when you have concern for somebody, it's said that you have cared for somebody. So because Olivia has cared for her brother, therefore the death of the brother has brought about this kind of sorrow in her life. And therefore Toby feels that when you have love for somebody, it's actually not very good when it comes to your life, because once that love is gone, your life is ruined. So Toby says that care is an enemy to life. By my troth, Sir Toby, you must come in earlier on nights. Maria tries to put some sense of discipline in Toby. Toby, who usually spends his night drinking with his friends, he comes home pretty late and Maria says that you should come in earlier. Your cousin, my lady, takes great exceptions to your ill hours. Ill means wrong. So you come home so late at night, it's really wrong. So you shouldn't be coming so late at home. That disturbs this household. And Olivia, really, my lady, she objects to your indisciplined comings and goings. Why later accept before accepted? Toby is probably drunk already, and he slurs in his speech a bit, and he makes some linguistic mistakes, like some words that he uses. He tries to act very wittily, but he ends up confusing words. So he is using the word accept, but he means accept. He means that she is, first of all, not behaving in an acceptable way. Who is she to accept my ways or not? Okay, so he is doing that. But you must confine yourself within the modest limits of order. So there should be some limitation. There should be some line which you shouldn't cross, and you should maintain some modesty. So Maria is trying to, put in some kind of sense into Toby here. And Toby uses the word confine and takes it and flips its meaning completely. And he says, confine? I'll confine myself no finer than I am. These clothes are good enough to drink in, and so be these boots too. And they be not, let them hang themselves in their own straps. So his boots or his shoes, which have straps, they are good shoes because he can drink while wearing them. If he cannot drink while wearing those shoes should commit suicide by hanging by their own straps. So for Toby, anything which stops him from drinking must be dead. Okay, even if that means his clothes and boots. So he feels that whatever he's doing, whatever he's wearing, wherever he is always fit to drink. That quaffling and drinking will undo you. I heard my lady talk of it yesterday. So I have heard, Olivia, my lady, that you are going to get ruined because of your drinking, and of a foolish knight that you brought in one night here to be her wooer. Now Maria is referring to a foolish knight. So knight usually refer to very heroic people. Okay, not everybody get the title of a knight. Knight is somebody who offers special service to the crown, and they are very heroic, and they save people by some heroic deed. Knights are very, very heroic titles. When we use the word knight, there's a lot of respect we associate with it. But here, she is directly saying, you have brought a foolish knight. So somebody who has got his knighthood by virtue of his birth, not by virtue of something that he has done. Maybe he's a knight's son, so has become a knight automatically. That is the problem of hierarchy and the system of feudalism, where you simply get the title that you're born with. So this knight is very foolish, whoever this is, and Sir Toby has brought this foolish knight and introduced to Olivia as her future husband, like it's a proposal that he is giving. So Maria is asking about this foolish knight. Who? Sir Andrew Aguecheek? Aye, he. He is as tall a man as any is in Illyria. So tall here means wealthy. Okay, stature, so far as economic standard is concerned, wealth is concerned, the thing is as tall as any man in Illyria. But when you look at this statement in a different way, we have met another man in Illyria. We have met Orsino, right? He is also a man in Illyria. And somehow our estimate of Orsino is that when in love, he is really stupid. Romantic, yes, but stupid. Okay, so this means that are all the men in Illyria stupid? And compared to them, Andrew Aguecheek is not more stupid, but as stupid as them. God knows. What is that to the purpose? So what? He is as tall as any man in Illyria. Now, Maria takes the word tall in its literal sense. She feels that he is as tall as anybody in Illyria, so what will I do with it? Why? He has 3,000 ducats a year. Now, that's a pretty substantial sum. It's a good amount of money. So Toby says that his income is 3,000 ducats a year. Aye, but he'll have but a year in all these ducats. So what's the point of him earning 3,000 ducats a year? He's going to spend those 3,000 ducats in 1 year itself. So there is no saving. And when there is no saving, there is no question of raising a family. So he's not a wise man at all. He's a very fool and a prodigal. Prodigal is somebody who wastes away their money, who do not think about the future, okay, who squander away everything they have and end up being beggars. So he's a prodigal. What's the point? Like, he can earn 3,000 ducats, 30,000 ducats. Doesn't really matter because he's going to spend everything he's earning in 1 year itself. Fine, that you'll say so. He plays on the wild gamboys and speaks 3 or 4 languages, word for word, without book. Now Toby is giving some credit here to Andrew that he has some qualities. Now what qualities are these? He can play a certain kind of musical instrument and he can speak in 3 or 4 languages without book. So yes, that's an achievement. Somebody is very erudite then, and hath all the good gifts of nature. He has every good gift of nature. So a very good man. And now Maria's reaction is very simple. He hath indeed almost natural, for besides that he is a fool, he is a great quarreller, but that he hath the gift of a coward to allay the gust he hath in quarrelling. Now first of all he starts a quarrel, and then he doesn't have the bravery or courage to continue that quarrel. He is a coward and he runs away from it. So he is a totally coward person who is also very foolish. So not a compliment at all. It is thought among the prudent. Prudent means sensible people. Sensible people have an opinion about Andrew Aguchi. And what's that opinion? It's thought among the prudent he would quickly have the gift of a grave. So he would quickly die. So that's the gift he's going to have. No other gifts will matter. By this hand they are scoundrels and subtractors that say so of him. Who are they? When Toby is using the word subtractors, he actually means distractors. People who speak to distract you away from something. So he is saying that those people whom you are calling wise men, they are not good people. They are distracting you from truth. Who are these people? Maria doesn't mention the names. She just says, they that add, moreover, he is drunk nightly in your company. So Maria is saying that, yes, they also know that you are his drinking buddy. So this is how Maria is actually accusing Toby of being with a foolish person all the time. With drinking helps to my niece. Yes, I'm drinking. So what? Whenever I drink, I raise a toast to Olivia. See, when people drink, they raise a toast. Like they raise their glass and they address something or somebody and they wish something good for that person. Okay. So whenever Toby drinks, he says to Olivia and then he drinks. And he feels that by doing that, his niece's health will become better. Okay, so this is his excuse, nothing more than that. He's justifying his drinking, saying that he will drink because he loves his niece and he wants his niece to prosper, and every time he drinks to her name which will benefit her. So he's saying, with drinking health to my niece, I will drink to her as long as there is a passage in my throat and drink in Illyria. So long as there is, drinking stock available in Illyria. And so long as there is a passage in his throat, he's going to drink because he is so committed to the health of his niece that he cannot stop from drinking, because the moment he stops drinking to the health of his niece, the niece will fall sick, die. He is a coward and a kestrel that will not drink to my niece till his brains turn on the toe like a parish top. What wench? Wench is a very, you can say slang expression, but he uses as a word of endearment here. What wench? Castigliano vulgo. He might mean, think of the devil and the devil comes, but like with Toby, he makes mistakes and he misappropriates this phrase. Anyway, what he means is, we were talking about Andrew and Andrew arrives. Okay. For here comes Sir Andrew Agueface, and he uses a different name here. He doesn't say Ague cheek, he says face. Now cheek, face, all very similar to him, especially because Toby right now is in a drunken state. So he is having these slips of tongue. Sir Andrew enters. Sir Toby Belch. How now, Sir Toby Belch? So Andrew has come and he has suddenly seen Toby standing there. Sweet Sir Andrew. Now Andrew, he just sees that there is this woman standing. Maria is standing there. Andrew doesn't know her. So he feels a bit interested who this woman is. And he says, bless you, fair shrew. He meant well. He wanted to wish her, bless you. But just look at the word he's using, fair shrew. Shrew is a slang word for a woman who is not honorable, who is not respectable. The fallen women. So it is a bad word to use when you're greeting somebody for the first time. Andrew is not very skilled in English language. So he is using these words because he was going to a lot of bars and pubs with Toby, and these words were commonly used there to refer to women. Therefore, he thought that shrew means a woman or madam. So he is saying, bless you, fair shrew, which he might mean that bless you, fair lady. But he uses a bad word here. Maria makes no reaction. She just says, and you too, sir. Suddenly, Toby wants to do something about this whole situation. Accust, Sir Andrew, accust. Accust means, suppose you have grudge against someone, okay, a friend, and you want to really have a good fight with that person. You see that person coming in a corridor, you go and you accust him. Or have you heard about paparazzi, those newspaper journalists who chase people down and they finally find them, and the way they talk to them, that is accust. So in an aggressive way, when you deal with somebody, when you greet somebody, it's not a polite thing. It has a lot of aggression in it, a lot of violence in it. Toby is saying, accust, Sir Andrew, accust. Toby wants to mean greet her, but Toby uses the word accust. Now, Andrew doesn't know anything about the word accust. He simply asks, what's that? What he means is, what is the meaning of accust? Toby thinks that Andrew is asking, what is that? That means, what is that woman? Who is that woman? So he says, my niece's chambermaid. So she is my Olivia's maid. Andrew thinks that accust means the name of this person. Okay, so he's totally dumb, I can tell that. He greets Maria in this way. Good Mistress Accust, I desire better acquaintance. So look at the pomp, look at the style that he's adopting, as if he's doing something grand here. I desire better acquaintance. My name is Mary, sir. She is very, very angry right now. Andrew thinks Accost was her surname. Name is Mary, so her full name is Mary Accost. Good Mistress Mary Accost. Now Toby understands the problem and he corrects him. You mistake, knight. Accost is front her, board her, woo her, assail her. So now he gives the total meaning of assault, that it actually means deal with her in a violent way. That has a lot of sexual implication, violent sexual implication, and Andrew is a bit disturbed by the whole suggestion. By my troth, I would not undertake her in this company. I can't do that in front of you. So, is that the meaning of accust? Now he is a bit confused that, okay, is he meaning that, what I think he's meaning? Maria, I have had enough. Fare you well, gentlemen. she begins to exit. But Toby doesn't want to let go of Maria so easily. He provokes Sir Andrew to keep her from going. And what does he say? "And thou let part so, Sir Andrew, would thou mightest never draw sword again." So if you let this woman walk out now, you will never draw your sword again. Now you are a knight. You should be able to draw out your sword anytime. But if a woman walks out on you, it's shame on you. Then you shouldn't be fighting anymore for anything. Now Andrew, who doesn't have much skill in English language, can imitate what he hears. So he says those words in a repetitive way. "And you part so, mistress, I might never draw sword again. Fair lady, do you think you have fools in hand?" Now he is trying to have a conversation with Maria. That, "Do you think I'm a fool?" So he's asking, "Do you think you have fools in hand?" Maria is saying, "Sir, I have not you by the hand. I'm not holding your hand, so I can't say I have fools in my hand." "Mary, but you shall have, and here's my hand." Now, Andrew is so simple-minded, I would rather say simpleton, that he is actually absolutely without guile at this point. You start to have some pity for him, he is so easily convinced by things that he is told. He doesn't ask questions. He blindly has faith in Sir Toby, and he says that, "Oh, you want to hold my hand? Please hold my hand." So he accepts the fact that he is a fool. Now Maria takes the hand of Andrew and says, "Now, sir, thought is free. I pray you, bring your hand to the buttery bar and let it drink." So I think your hand will be interested to get drunk. So take your hand to the bar. Andrew doesn't understand such complicated English. He says, "Wherefore, sweetheart? What's your metaphor? Can you please explain? My hand, how can I make it drunk? I don't understand." "It's dry, sir." Now, Maria says that her metaphor is dry, which means there's nothing to explain. She just wants him to leave. But Andrew feels that she's talking about his hand, that your hand is dry. Now, Andrew says, "Why, I think so. I'm not such an ass, but I can keep my hand dry. Of course, my hand is dry. I'm not a child." So why does he say that? Because, children and drunk people who cannot control themselves sometimes wet their hands while they are urinating. That's a very gross thing that is brought up here, but Andrew is referring to that, saying that, of course, my hand is dry. I am in control of my nerves. But what is your jest? But I don't get your joke. Are you joking about something? A dry jest, sir. Dry jest means something which doesn't produce any laughter. Sometimes people crack jokes and those who are listening don't understand the joke. And they don't laugh. So that joke becomes a dry joke. Sometimes very intelligent jokes are not understood and they become dry jokes. So Maria is saying that what's the point of cracking a joke in front of you? You won't understand. So my joke is a dry joke. A dry jest, sir. Are you full of them? And do you have a good stock of dry jokes? Aye, sir, I have them at my fingers' ends. So she's still holding on to the hand of Andrew. So she's saying that, yes, I'm still full of dry jokes because she's holding his hand. And then she leaves his hand and says, "Now I let go your hand, I am barren. So now that I am leaving your hand, I don't have any more jokes in my hand." So it's just that Maria is playing with this word and making fun of Andrew. And the sad part is Andrew doesn't even realize most of the time that he is such a ridiculous person. Maria goes away. Andrew is not in a very jovial mood. He is a bit, sorrowful, sad looking. So Toby comes up and says, "Oh, knight, thou lackest a cup of canary. What happened? What's wrong with you? When did I see thee so put down? So why are you so put down?" "Never in your life, I think, unless you see canary put me down. See, I am never put down except the times when I am so drunk that I am put down." So Andrew is a good match for Toby. They all love drinking so much. "Methinks sometimes I have no more wit than a Christian or an ordinary man has." So he thinks that he has a normal level of intelligence. He doesn't have, but he thinks sometimes that he is intelligent enough. "But I am a great eater of beef, and I believe that does harm to my wit. But I eat beef so much, and beef being a high protein diet, maybe that concentrates on building my muscles so much and doesn't concentrate on building my brain so much. So maybe I have less wit at times." No question. "And I thought that I'd forswear it. I'll ride home tomorrow," said Toby. Suddenly he says that he's going to leave. "Pourquoi, my dear knight?" Pourquoi means what for, why. It's a French word. Andrew doesn't know the meaning of pourquoi. What is pourquoi? Do or not do? I mean, are you asking me to go or not go? "I would I had bestowed that time in the tongues that I have in fencing, dancing and bear baiting." Tongues means learning of languages. He knows that he doesn't have good language skills. He doesn't understand much of any language, it seems. And he says that he has spent a lot of time focusing on fencing, dancing and bear baiting. If he had given more time to language learning, he would have been more successful. "Oh, had I but followed the arts, if I had just followed the discipline of arts, languages." Now Toby is playing with the word art. "Then hadst thou had an excellent head of hair." If you had followed the arts, you would have had a beautiful head of hair. Now he is completely confused, Andrew. He's saying, what is the connection between hair and arts? Why would that have mended my hair? So there's a problem with Andrew's hair. His hair is very lanky. Okay, it lacks any kind of style, okay, any curl or anything. Past question. "For thou seest it will not curl by nature." Now your hair is not going to get curly by nature. How does hair get curly? By using curling irons, by the art of curling. So he is now playing with the word art, that if you had concentrated on art, then you would have known how to curl your hair. "But it becomes me well enough, does it not?" So Andrew's hair is very lanky, lifeless, but he feels that it suits him. So he says, "It becomes me well enough." He's trying to get some assurance. "Excellent! It hangs like flax on a distaff." Now Andrew doesn't know the meaning of flax, nor does he know the meaning of distaff. Imagine an upside down broom. Okay, something which is standing on the stick and that mop part is on top. So that is how Andrew's hairstyle is. That is like a flax on a distaff. Okay, so it's not at all something which is flattering or beautiful, but he thinks something like flax, distaff. Maybe he's giving me a compliment. "It hangs like flax on a distaff, and I hope to see a housewife take thee between her legs and spin it off." So again, pretty gross sexual image here, but taken literally it means that some woman would take him and shave his head off. It's so horrible. "Faith, I'll home tomorrow," said Toby. "Your niece will not be seen, or if she be, it's 4 to 1 she'll none of me." The Count himself here hard by woos her. The problem with Olivia is that she's seeing nobody, not even the Duke's men. So I don't think I have a chance with her, so I'm leaving. Toby knows that if Andrew goes away, his drinking partner is going, and not just partner, his sponsor is going, because we can deduce that Toby doesn't have a very good income. He is depending on Andrew to supply him with money. Okay, so he wants Andrew to stay, convinces him, and how does he do that? She'll none of the Count. Olivia will not entertain the Count. She'll not match above her degree, neither in estate, years, nor wit. Olivia is not interested in the Count or Duke, because she is interested to marry somebody who is of her equal standard in age, in estate, that is property, and in intelligence. And somehow he makes Andrew feel that Andrew is in a better position to gain Olivia's interest than Orsino, because Andrew is younger than Orsino, okay, closer to Olivia's age. He has a kind of property which matches Olivia's property. So they belong to the same social class. And thirdly, Andrew feels that he is a bit intelligent, and Olivia, being a woman, is maybe of the same intelligence level. Therefore, Olivia will be interested in Andrew. This is Toby's point of view, which he wants to use to convince Andrew. I have heard her swear it, that there's life in it, man. I'm sure this is going to hold for you. So don't lose hope. I'll stay a month longer. So this is like an ultimatum he's giving. It's like a deadline he's giving, that okay, I believe you, but I can only give you 1 more month. I'm a fellow of the strangest mind in the world. I delight in masks and revels sometimes altogether. So this is very peculiar, the way they change topics. They're talking about something, and before going any further, talking about Olivia, how she's going to win her, he's suddenly changing the whole topic. This is happening repeatedly through this whole scene. There is a lack of consistency in the conversation. How can you expect consistency in conversation when people are drunk? You can't expect. This is drunken revelry. This is complete opposite of what we were seeing when we were seeing the conversation between Viola and the captain. Art thou good at these kickshaws this night? So, are you good with these festive activities like dancing and music? As any man in Illyria, whatsoever he be, under the degree of my betters, and yet I will not compare with an old man. So I am very, very young-hearted, and I can participate wholeheartedly in all these festive gala ceremonies. What is thy excellence in a galliard, knight? So now Toby is asking questions about Andrew's capability in dancing. Different kinds of dances are mentioned here. And Toby is asking one by one, do you know this kind of dance? Do you know this kind of dance? So galliard is a step, is a way of dancing. Andrew says, faith, I can cut a caper. Yes, I am very, very proficient in galliard. And I can cut the mutton to it. So Toby is playing with his words as usual. And I think I have the back trick simply as strong as any man in Illyria. So he can not only dance with this galliard step, he can come backwards dancing like that. So that's kind of an achievement which he thinks is very unique in him. Wherefore are these things hid? How have you hidden these things? And why have you hidden these things? You have such great talent. Wherefore have these gifts a curtain before them? Curtain is something which you use to hide things. Are they like to take dust like Mistress Mall's picture? Why dost thou not go to church in a galliard and come home in a coranto? So if I could dance like you, I would dance all the time. Even when I was going to the church, I would go dancing. When I was coming back from the church, I would come back dancing. So he's just pulling his leg. We know that, but Andrew feels flattered, of course. My very walk should be a jig. I would not so much as make water, but in a syncopace. Now, syncopace is also a style of dancing, but it has the word sink in it. Sink means a basin. Make water means urinate. So, if Toby could dance like Andrew, he would urinate dancing, while dancing, and he would dance in the style of syncopace. So, he's again playing with words and using a very gross image like Toby always does. What does thou mean? Is it a world to hide virtues in? No, it's not. Like, this is Twelfth Night and so many centuries back, right? And Toby is saying, is it a world to hide virtues in? So this is not a world where you should hide what you can do. Think about so like numberless TikTok videos, YouTube Reels, Facebook Reels. People are doing all sorts of things, stupid things, which we see all the time, generating millions of views, and those are not even abilities. Stupid things like they are frying mobile phones inside microwaves. So this is a world which has become, like this whole world has become Illyria now, and we are all busy trying to show off what we think are our greatest talents, and the world doesn't actually get any idea where real talents are hidden. Okay, so anyway, let's go back to this age-old classic. Toby is saying that, why have you hidden your virtues, your talent? I did think by the excellent constitution of thy leg, it was formed under the star of a galliard. When you were born, you must have been born under some star which rules dancing. Now, astrologers believe that every constellation rules over some aspect of our lives. And when we are born under the zodiacs, depending on the position of the sun. And depending on our birth, we are ruled by a set of planets and stars. So Toby says that, I'm sure when you were born under a constellation that rules dancing, because your legs are so strongly built. It is strong, and it does indifferent well in a dun-coloured stock. So if I wear a dun-coloured stocking, I look even better. Shall we set about some revels? See, again a change of tone, change of topic, change of plan. Suddenly they want to go and have some fun in some party. What shall we do else? Were we not born under Taurus? Now Toby says that, well, they both are born under Taurus. Now Taurus is a zodiac, which is the second zodiac. After Aries, we have Taurus. The sun, its position determines the birth of an individual during the month of like late April to late May. That span is something which belongs to the zodiac of Taurus. Now it is believed that Taurus rules the heart, and somehow it's connected to music, rhythm, rhyme and creativity in people. So people born under Taurus are creative people, and they are associated somehow with musicality and lyric. Toby is saying this to Andrew because he wants to make him feel that they have this birthright to enjoy themselves, because they are instinctively musical, and therefore they should always go to dancing parties and enjoy themselves because they were born under Taurus. Interesting trivia. William Shakespeare, if you believe in astrology, William Shakespeare was born under the zodiac of the Taurus. So was Robert Browning. So was Rabindranath Tagore. Don't ask me if I believe in those things. Just, it was a trivia I wanted to share with you. Taurus, that's sides and heart. No sir, it is legs and thighs. Andrew knows that Taurus rules the heart and sides. But Toby says, no, it is legs and thighs. let me see the caper. And then Toby wants Andrew to dance. Andrew, who was so sad a few minutes back, willing to go away, suddenly starts dancing because Toby has flattered him so much. So we understand that Andrew doesn't have a very strong personality and he's easily influenced by people around him. And he starts dancing, and the more he dances, Toby goes on telling him, ha, higher, ha, ha, excellent. And they exit the stage dancing, making fun. And the audience, they either giggle a lot or they simply think, what was this whole scene about? Now, after the first two scenes, this scene creates a kind of a difference so far as tone is concerned. The previous two scenes were pretty poetic. Even Viola's realistic, apparently prosaic conversation with the sailors had poetic elements in it. See, you remember the words she said, what should I do in Illyria? My brother, he is in Elysium. And then, of course, Orsino's speech is all full of musicality and rhythm and rhyme. So while the first two scenes present to us a poetic style of dialogue, here we have real prose, raw prose, vulgar prose. Why is this necessary? See, Shakespeare was, above everything else, a very, very intelligent businessman. He was a producer of drama, and he knew what his audience wanted, because his audience, or his spectators, they were not homogeneous. They were not, one single kind of people. There were high class nobility, middle class, and the working class people. So when he produced any kind of drama, especially comedies, he offered these romantic, poetic passages to the high nobility to please their aesthetic senses. He offered the realism, the beauty of realism, the authenticity of realism to the struggling middle classes. But for the working class people who came here to watch the play, maybe half drunk, or maybe giving up that money he would have otherwise spent on a bottle, who knows that when he's going to go back home, he's going to go back to reality, a reality full of problems. To that workforce watching his play, Shakespeare could not deny this kind of real entertainment. He wanted them to laugh, because laughter is a therapy. It is therapy in both ways. For the nobility who laugh at Orsino, they identify their own Orsino-ish traits in them. They understand that I'm laughing at this person, which means I'm laughing at the things which I also do like this person. So that is one thing, that is what laughter does. But for those people who are working and working so hard, their laughter is therapeutic. When they see a knight so foolish that they can laugh at him without the fear of being punished, they enjoy that. And Shakespeare could not deny his folks that much of happiness. So this is comedy. Comedy is about inclusion, not just including different kinds of characters as dramatis personae, not just on stage, but outside the stage. Comedy is about this communion of not just different characters on stage, but different kinds of audience who are looking at the stage. So comedy brings together people of all stages and stratus of society. We might dismiss Toby and Andrew as unimportant characters. This is a subplot. Why should we bother about it? But very soon we will see that the story of Orsino, Olivia, Viola, Sebastian, and the story of Toby, Andrew, Maria, Malvolio, they are not separate from each other. They are brought together. And when they come together, they mix up. At that moment, we have that milieu, that society, which is the essence of comedy. Comedy is not just presenting plots and subplots, but presenting them as inherently connected. So comedy is a social genre. Tragedy is a genre about individualism. It's about alienation of the hero, Macbeth going away from the world. Here, everybody is coming towards society and they have a problem, and how they address that problem, how they win over their problems and get in tune with society. That is the soul of comedy. We will talk about Toby and his drunken revelry, why Toby is important, why he is so very important in context of Twelfth Night, but not today. We will go on reading this play, and while we read scene after scene, we will explore more and more about what Twelfth Night really means and why we should never forget Sir Toby. So, this was all for today. I hope you have enjoyed today's class. The scene is not very complicated. It's basically a simple one, but important one. So, we shouldn't skip any scene. We will meet again in the next scene where we will see Viola in conversation with Orsino. What do they talk about? What their relationship has become. That is going to be very exciting. So don't miss the next video, which we are going to upload very soon. Stay in touch, stay connected. This is Monami Mukherjee signing off. Stay happy, stay blessed. Bye-bye.